Hello everyone, my name is Professor Ehrin, and in this video I wanted to break down for you my process for building a Pokemon deck from scratch. So the first thing you want to do when building a Pokemon deck is kind of get an idea of where you want to go with it. Maybe you see a Pokemon or a trainer card or something that catches your eye and you think, I could make an entire deck based around that. Or maybe it's an interaction between 2 or 3 cards that you see and go, this works well with this and this works well with that. So usually when you find something like that, how do you go about putting together a full deck? So what I've done is I've taken what's become a new favorite of mine, this Rillaboom card here, which has the ability that allows me to search my deck for 2 energy and attach it to one of my Pokemon. And I've noticed that that pairs really well with both the high energy requirement of Rillaboom V as well as the evolution of Rillaboom V, which is the V Max, the max beating that does 130 damage, but you can discard as many grass energy as you like, and for each one that you grass, or sorry, up to three grass energy, and you do 50 more damage. So it actually can do up to 280 damage if you discard 3 energy. So if I'm discarding all my energy, all I need to do is get that energy back into my deck, and then I can use this ability once, or if I have multiple instances of this ability, use it multiple times to get it back onto this Pokemon, and I can keep stringing that attack over and over again. So I'm going to concentrate on these 2 Pokemon. Let's take a look and see if I can find anything that works well with them. So we'll put these up here. And what I've got, when I start any new build, what I do is I just grab 4 copies of every card, and if it's an evolution, I grab 4 copies of the other one. So I've got 4 Rillabooms, 4 Thwackies, and 4 Grookys in here. And in this stack, I have 4 Rillaboom VMAXs and 4 Rillaboom Vs. So Pokemon that I thought might pair well with these 2 are Venusaur and Snivy, just because this Shining Vine ability says every time that I attach grass energy from my hand, I can order them to put a new Pokemon active, so I can kind of snipe some things on the bench, especially a certain Dedenne GX that only has 160 HP and gives up 2 prize cards. So that might be really nice to put into this deck. There's also Celebi Venusaur GX. This is really nice because the Evergreen GX move, if it has 5 energy attached to it, I can take all of my cards. Remember, I'm discarding a lot of energy. I can take all of my cards from my discard pile and put them back into my deck. So I might want to use that. I saw this Rowlet and Alolan Executor, excuse me. It has this super growth ability, which is really nice because it doesn't require any energy to use, and it allows me to get a stage 1 and then a stage 2 Pokemon if I have them in my deck. So if I can use this, I can get this Rillaboom active really, really quickly. So we'll put that as a maybe. Pheromosa and Buzzwole GX, just because I always liked the original Buzzwole with the Jet Punch. I thought that was a really, really good attack. It's a really good way to start. It only takes 1 energy, and 190 for 3 damage, or 3 energy isn't too bad. So there's that. Since we have the ability to put a lot of energy out, we're going to take a look at the Shaman Prism Star that says it does 30 damage times the amount of basic energy attached to all of your Pokemon. So since we're spreading a lot of energy around, this is a good just one-off in the deck. I can only have 1 because of the Prism Star. There's Eldegoss V, which I love the ability here. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may put a supporter card from your discard pile into your hand. So this is basically free reusing any of my supporters, so I don't need as many or as high of a count in my supporters, or I can use them more than just 4 times because I can get them back. So I love that. Also, the attack 2 does 50 damage, but more importantly, I take this card and put it into my back into my deck. So put this Pokemon and all attached cards. So not only does that do 50 damage, it puts it back into my deck so I can use it again, and it puts 2 energy back into my deck that I can then turn around and pull out with Rillaboom. And then the last card that I saw was this Dhelmise V. And I just kind of like the Giga Hammer for 200, 1 energy attachment plus 1 Rillaboom. I'm doing 200. It says during your next turn you can't use Giga Hammer again, but that's okay. And this Anchor Anger is 30 damage and then does 90 more if one of your Pokemon was knocked out last turn. It's a single energy for 120 damage. I thought that was a good attack as well. So those are my potential attackers and potential Pokemon in this deck. And we'll get into paring this down here in a little bit. Let's move on. So the next category I have are, I like generic draw support. Just, I need to refresh my hand, I need some new cards, whatever the case may be. One of my new favorite refresh my hand and provides a little disruption at the same time is Marnie. She has become probably my new favorite just generic draw supporter, because not only do I get to draw 5 cards, but I can force my opponent down to 4 cards. So that's a good possibility. Professor's Research, for anybody who's been playing for more than 5 minutes, you've seen Professor Juniper, Professor Sycamore, you know how powerful this card really is. I really do like Cynthia as well. It's just a generic refresh, shuffle your cards in. Alright, and then some item cards that I just consider as just generic draw support. There is Acrobike, just draw 2, discard 1, and put 1 into your hand. And Pokegear 3.0, which is just generic, look at the top 7 cards, and if you find a supporter card there, you can put it into your hand. I also have a lot of, so that's generic search. Just generic, you know, want to refresh my hand or whatever the case may be. There's a lot of very specific search that I can use with this deck. It's a grass deck, so the first thing that comes to mind is Netball. I can search for a basic grass Pokemon or a grass energy, and I don't have to discard, I don't have to anything. So Netball is probably going to be a guarantee in this deck. Also, Pokemon Communication. I'm running a lot of evolution Pokemon. I've got a lot of stage 1, stage 2 Pokemon, and I may need the other stage, so this will be really good to trade in that one. I don't have to lose it, I just put it back into my deck to get later, and I can get the Pokemon that I want. Evolution Incense, another great way to just, I'm playing a lot of evolution Pokemon, so that may find its way into this deck. I need to see Grookey's and Rillaboom V on the very first turn no matter what. So Quick Ball ×4. I think that's going to be a must in this deck. Stadium Nav. Flip 2 coins for each head, search your deck for a stadium. And that's going to be really, really important because I am going to be playing Turffield Stadium, probably 4 copies of that as well. And that allows me to, once during my turn, I may search my deck for an evolution grass Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into my hand. And then shuffle your deck. So that probably will replace Evolution Incense. I may not play as many of these because I'm going to play a full count of Turffield Stadium. And I certainly want to get that out nice and early so I can get those Thwackies, Rillaboom, or Rillaboom VMAX. Next up, potential to play Guz Mahala in here, again because I'm looking for a stadium card, but also a special energy and a tool card if I want to discard. And there is a special energy that works really nice with that, and that is Capture Energy. Capture Energy not only provides colorless energy, but it allows me to search my deck for a basic Pokemon and put it on my bench. So those are my directed search, or my specific search cards that I'm going to look at using for this deck. Next up are cards I like to call motion cards. These are cards that allow me to move my Pokemon and put what I want to be active into the active spot. So the first of those is Switch. It just allows me to switch my Pokemon. Next up is Air Balloon. Now a lot of these Pokemon have more than 2 retreat cost. So if you look, Rillaboom VMAX is 3, Rillaboom V is 3, and Rillaboom is 3. So Air Balloon won't give me free retreat, but it will allow me to only have to pay 1 energy for retreat cost. Another nice one would be Scoop Up Net, and that allows me to just pick up the Pokemon V or Pokemon GX into my hand. I may not want to do that because I might have to replay it and I might have a VMAX in play. But this is also really nice if you have a VMAX that's is about to be knocked out. You can scoop it up and deny your opponent 3 prize cards. And last up is Malolana. Switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. When you do play this card, you can discard 2 other and heal 120 damage with that. Alright. The next cards that I pulled are Disruption cards. These allow me to do something to my opponent to maybe make it a little bit more advantageous for me. The first of those is going to be Boss's Orders. That allows me to choose my opponent's active Pokemon. So if I see something on the bench that I know I can knock out in one hit, I can order that up with Boss's Orders. Or let's say I'm just stalled, I can put up something that has no energy on it with a high retreat cost to either force them to play a trainer or pay a high retreat cost to get it out of the active spot. The other one in Disruption that I have is Reset Stamp. And Reset Stamp just allows me to have my opponent shuffle their cards into their deck and then draw as many as they have prize cards. That's really, really nice if you're behind and it's getting to be late game. You know, you can actually reset stamp your opponent down to 1 card, and that could potentially, you know, just stop them and allow you to come back from behind. All right, we are playing Evolution Pokemon, specifically Stage 2, so Rare Candy is all but a must in those types of decks. The next category I have are anything that has to do with HP, and there's just a couple. I may not put these in at all, but I thought Big Charm was kind of cool because if I put that on a Rillaboom VMAX, that gives me 360 HP. This gives me a 30 extra HP. And also, Rillaboom V does 30 damage to itself, so I thought it would be really nice to have this Life Force Prism Star, which allows me to heal 60 damage and any special conditions from my grass Pokemon. So that might find its way in here. Then the last category of cards that I have in here are, remember we are discarding a lot of energy cards and we need a way to get those back into the deck. So there are a number of ways that we can do that. The easiest is Brock's Grit. It's a supporter card and you can put 6 in any combination of basic energy or Pokemon from your discard back into your deck. So I could put up to 6 energy and then pull them right back out with that Rillaboom. Lady is very similar. She only allows you to do 4 and only energy, but still a good card. One of my favorites is Energy Recycler. And that allows you to shuffle 5 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. And another good one is Ordinary Rod. This one allows you to do 2 and 2, so up to 2 basic energy and up to 2 Pokemon. Put them from your discard back into your deck. The Energy Recycler and the Ordinary Rod are nice because they're items and I don't burn my supporter for turn. So now that I have an idea of these are the cards that I would like to use, I have way more than the 60 card limit that I'm allowed to have. So let's start paring this back down to the cards that I must have, cards that I think would be nice to have, and maybe cards I don't think I need that much. So I consider Rillaboom a must-have. Absolutely need to have that. I think I need to have 4 copies, but we'll talk about that. And I know I need to have 4 copies of Grookey. In fact, I want to start Grookey, and I want to start a Grookey on the bench. I don't necessarily think I need 4 copies of Thwackey, though. I think I can do with 2, because I'm going to play Rare Candy. I'm going to try and Rare Candy into one of these. So we're going to take out a couple of these. Rillaboom VMAX, I don't think I need 4. I think 3 is good, and I might even pare that down to 2, because this is my big main attacker, but this is really dangerous to use because it costs me 3 prize cards if I lose one. However, if I were to prize 2, I'd be a little worried, so I'm gonna start with 3, and I might back that off. Same with Rillaboom V. I think I'm gonna start with all 4, but I might want to pare this back just a little bit. Again, it gives up 2 prize cards, but it's going to be my main attacker with this Wood Hammer. 220 damage, does 30 damage to itself. So we're going to keep all 4 in there. Alright, Venusaur Snivy, I think this is nice, but I think if I have Boss's Orders in here, this is going to be kind of obsolete, and it takes a lot of energy. So I'm going to pull all 4 of these out. Celebi Venusaur. Again, same general idea. I love the idea of the GX attack. However, having cards like Energy Recycler and Ordinary Rod kind of make that a little obsolete, so I'm going to pull that out as well. Rowlet, Alolan Executor, I might keep that in. I'm going to put that in the maybe pile over here. Buzzmosa, I love Jet Punch. I love having a little bit of an advantage early. Doing 30 and 30 with 1 energy is good. So maybe we'll put 1 in there and we'll see if we can't keep it. I think Shaman is a keeper. We're going to move that Buzzmosa over to the maybe pile. Shaman's a definite. Eldegoss V, I think this is an amazing card, but I don't think I need 4. I think maybe 2. We'll take 2. And Dhelmise V, I like it, but I don't think it's gonna be quite what I want for this deck. So we're gonna take that out as well. All right, so we got a definite pile and a maybe pile. So let's go to just general search. Marnie, I'd like to keep 4. Professor's Research, I'd like to keep 4. I think Cynthia's made a little obsolete by Marnie. I just think I get a little bit more benefit from Marnie. So I'm going to move Cynthia out. And I'm not trying to discard a lot of cards, so I'm going to take Acrobike out. I'm going to put these Pokegears into the maybe pile. I would like to have them because it looks like I've only got 8 supporters so far. So I want a way to kind of look through my deck and find some supporters. Next up, motion cards. I like the idea of these cards, but I don't think Mallow and Lana or Scoop Up Net or even really Air Balloon are helping me that much. So I'm going to take all of those out. I am, however, going to leave all 4 switches, and I think those are all but a must-have. All right, cards that allow me to put energy from my discard back into my deck. Brock's Grit is my favorite. I'd like to keep that at 4. I think Lady is made obsolete by Brock's Grit. Energy Recycler is my favorite, and Ordinary Rod is right behind, so maybe we'll do a 2-2 of these. And we might adjust these numbers later. This was a good idea, and I think I was looking at Guzmahala and thinking that I just should have a tool of some form, but I think I'm going to skip on all of these right now. Disruption. I'm going to keep at least 2 copies of Boss's Orders, and I think at least 1 reset stamp. We're going to put those in the maybe pile for now, and we'll put the rest to the side for a minute. Rare Candy, I think we must have 4. Moving on to Directed Search. I think Guzmahala is completely out. I think with 4 copies of Turffield Stadium, I don't think I need Stadium Nav, and I do want to run 4 copies of Turffield Stadium. I think 4 Capture Energy because that's like a free Pokeball, and it provides energy. Quick Ball, Evolution Incense, I think are questionable. I think Evolution Incense is made obsolete by Turffield Stadium, and I can reuse this multiple times if it doesn't get knocked out. So I'm going to put those off to the side. I love Pokemon Communication. Let's see how much room I have. So we'll put those over in the maybe, and I think 4 Net Balls and at least 2 Quick Balls for Directed Search. So at this point, I have, these are my cards that I feel were must-have, and we said we might make some adjustments. So we're going to count and see how many we have real quick. The good news is there are only 58 cards in my must-have. Unfortunately, there are only 4 Capture Energy and no Basic Energy. I would like to have no less than 8 basic energy plus the 4 capture energy that are in there. So that means I have 6 extra cards currently, and that's not having any of my would like to have cards. So let's take a look at some of these lines, and now let's be realistic in how this deck is going to play. So the first thing I'm looking at is I have these Eldergosses. They're going to be really easy to get because I can pull them with Quick Ball, I can pull them with Net Ball, I can pull them with Capture Energy. However, if I use Capture Energy, I may not use the ability. So since I have those, I don't think I need as much just random draw support because I do have a lot of directed draw support. So I think I'm going to pull out a Professor's Research, and I'm going to pull out a Marnie, and maybe even pull out another Professor's Research. So 3 Marnies and 2 copies of Professor's Research. I'm just looking through here real quick to see what else I have. So that's a lot of, that's all search. Basic search. This is all to put stuff back in. 4 rare candies. 4 switches. Shaman. Looking at these, Pokemon communication, maybe another boss's orders, okay. So now let's count cards here. So we started with 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 1, 2, 3. So I've still 3 cards over. All right, 2 and 2. All right, I think 4 Brock's Grit might be a little much. I'm 2 cards over. 4 rare candies are a must. I feel 3, 4 of those are a must. 2 Quick Balls, 4 Net Balls, 4 Capture Energy. I want to have that Grookey on the bench. Alright, I don't know that Shaman is going to be as helpful as I want because there's only a total of 8. So the most he can ever do is 240 damage because it only works for basic energy. So now I'm only 1 card over. And I think we said potentially Rillaboom, Thwacky, Grookey, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so I'm going to take a look at this this Rillaboom line here. 4 Grookeys I think are a must. I think maybe 2 Thwackies because I can pull the evolutions with Turffield Stadium. But I think maybe only 3 Rillabooms because I don't ever see needing more than 2 in play at any given time. So let's check those numbers again. I think I should be right at 60 cards here. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 Pokemon. Fifty-one, 52 with the trainers, and 8 basic energy. And there you have it. That is my process. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle this up, and I'm going to play this deck. And I might not even finish a full game with it. I might just kind of ghost play myself, like just pretend what my opponent does and see how it goes. Make sure it's playing how I want. I might make some substitutions. I might realize, you know what, I have way too much basic Pokemon search. I don't have enough evolution search, so I might swap out a Quick Ball for an evolution instance. 1 or 2, then I'll play an opponent a couple times, then I'll probably end up taking this to League and go from there. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been really helpful, and you all have a wonderful day.